I want to just let you know. So on 131 machine, we have installed Fusion middleware, I think. No? Fusion middleware. Yeah. And on 129, it is generic WebLogic. So let us see if it is compatible or not. So what I'll do, first, app, middleware, Oracle Home, user projects, domains, base domain, bin, no hub, /start manager. Start manager is from WebLogic. Okay. So I'm starting the admin server. And once it is started, we will create the required components like horizontal cluster and the cluster members and a remote machine, and configure the node manager on the remote machine. All right. So we'll access so how do you create usually? So right now there are two cluster members. So let us create two more servers. One is PMS1 and its listen address is 131, and let us take 8500. Create a new cluster for this. So here also you can directly create a new cluster for this server. Next. So this is cluster properties, horizontal cluster, unicast. Next. Okay. So PMS1 created under cluster. Now I will add another RMS1, and the IP address is, this is 129, right? So I'll take this IP address 129 and I'll give 8500, same port number. And here I will add it to horizontal cluster. Next, finish. So we have created a horizontal cluster with two cluster members. Activate the changes. Now we need to allocate machines for our managed servers, cluster members. So PMS1 is local machine. Save it. And RMS1, it is okay. So we need to create a machine as well. First, let us do the changes, because we have created RMS1, but we have not defined the machine for our remote VM. So as we know, a machine represents the new physical or virtual machine. So I'll name it as remote machine. Okay, it is already there. So remote machine. Next, and plain. And here 192.168.200.129. So this is the IP address of the remote machine. So click on finish, activate the changes. Now go back to the servers, RMS1, take the lock and edit, and attach the managed server to this particular machine, and it is already mapped with horizontal cluster. Save it, activate the changes. And one more thing, TMS1, take the lock. We will enable the WebLogic plugin as for both RMS1, advanced, and here S. Save it, activate the changes. So we have defined whatever we require. So we have created a cluster with cluster members, machines, managed servers in a pre-created domain, right? From the admin console. So now that we have already defined our required architecture, it is saved in the master configuration. So let us check the master configuration. I'll take another duplicate tab for 131. App, middleware, Oracle Home, user projects, domains, base domain, config, vim, config.xml. So if you see, this is vertical cluster member 1 that belongs to vertical cluster, and vertical cluster member 2. Now here, PMS1 belongs to local machine, belongs to horizontal cluster, and another listen address. Yeah, here. Okay. Where is it? Yeah, RMS1. RMS1, remote machine, port number, and horizontal cluster. So the machine, there will be two machines. This is vertical cluster, cluster address. We will add it in a while. So horizontal cluster, unicast, and we did not add there is a gap here, you see. That is not right. Okay. So we can add directly the cluster address and default load balancing algorithm directly here if you don't want to use admin console. So there is always scope. And the sample application deployed on where it is mapping to vertical cluster. And local machine, it is listening on plane, and its name is local machine, listening on localhost 5557. And remote machine, listening on plane socket on listen address is 129, listen port. Yes. So these are the details. It is already saved in the master configuration. Now, what we are doing is we are going to pack this domain. So we have seen the master configuration. It already contains the required components for our remote machine. So that those configurations will be moved to the remote machine. Yeah. So where can we find domain level commands? We can find it under app, middleware, Oracle Home, Oracle Common, bin. So here you can see pack and unpack. So this is 131 machine and this is 129. So here I have installed app Oracle middleware Oracle home Oracle common bin. So here we will use unpack. So here we will pack and here we will unpack. So let us do the pack.sh. What do you want to pack? Simple. Pack, what do you want to pack? You want to pack a domain. And what is the path of your domain? This is the path of my domain. And where do you want to create the template? This is a template. And template name. So this is stored virtually. I mean, this is not used anywhere, but for the reference, you're giving the template name. And managed is equal to true. Okay. So what happens when you give this flag? It indicates that you are packing only the managed server configuration. So the remote, for the remote VM, we have created RMS1 and remote machine. So that particular configuration will be moved to remote machine. When you mention managed is equal to true. If you don't mention it, it will directly unpack the entire domain with all the configuration. So domain hyphen domain is equal to app middleware Oracle home user project domains base domain. So this is our domain location. And template path. Template, actually template path is a WebSphere parameter. Template path, profile template. Sometimes, we get confused between different parameters on Jboss, WebLogic, WebSphere. That is very quite common. And I want to create the template under app middleware. Yeah. And the template name is base domain.jar. Now, the template name, whatever you want, you can mention. My domain template and manage is equal to true. So this is our command. Enter. Okay. Yeah, there is a typo. Template. Yes. Sorry.
Again wrong.
Yeah. Template. I hope it is correct now. So you can see what happens in the background. It gives you step-by-step information. Yeah, done. So what it did, first it read the domain from the domain path that we have mentioned here and succeeded in reading the domain, and it has set the option managed is equal to true that we have passed here, and it succeeded in setting the config option, and it is writing the template. So this is a progress in this location that we have mentioned here. So it has succeeded in writing the template, and it closed the template, close, succeeded. So let us see app middleware. This is a jar file created. Now we need to transfer the template to remote server. So copy the jar file to remote machine with WebLogic already installed and same version. So very important. Same version should be there. If not, there will be exceptions or issues. All right. So let us copy this SCP app middleware base domain dot jar Oracle user at the rate 192, 168, 200, 129 colon where you want to copy this domain. I want to copy this under app Oracle. Yeah, that would be fine. Enter, accept, permanently added. And what is the password of your remote machine? Yes, done. So here we have copied. Now unpack. So switch to your remote machine and unpack.sh. What do you want to unpack? You want to unpack a domain to whatever the path you want and provide the template location. So I want to unpack the domain app under app Oracle middleware, Oracle home, user projects. So there is no user projects. You need to create because it is a fresh installation. User projects, domains, base, domain. So it will create this directory structure and template is equal to app Oracle base domain dot jar. So remove the spaces here. If you don't give space, it will not take the tab and enter. So it is reading the template, done, writing the template to the given location. So what it did, it read the template and it has set the config option, base domain, domain name, and validated the configuration, restore passwords, and it has written the domain in this particular location and closed the template. So unpack, done. Now post unpack configuration. So what you can do, you can register a new machine representing the new host. You can create multiple managed servers and associated with this machine. And optionally, you can add server to a cluster. You can start the node manager on the remote machine to manage the server from the admin console. So these all things you can do. But already we have created a cluster, defined the managed server and also the machine. So it is already registered. So what we need to do on this remote machine, first, let us go to user projects, domains, base domain. So node manager and Vim node manager dot properties. We will make it, we will make the secure listener false. Okay, it is already false. Fine. PD bin. And one more thing, there is no servers folder, right? And to go to config, you will find config bootstrap.xml. It is not config.xml like here. So here you will see config.xml. That is a master repository. And if you see on a machine under config, you see the config bootstrap.xml, then it means this is a unpacked domain. Simple trick. If you open this config underscore bootstrap.xml, it is the same configuration file, contains admin details, all the components present in your domain along with your existing configuration. So whatever is mapped here, that will be bind to your IP address. So cd bin, let us start first node manager and see if it starts. Okay, it is started, and under machines, remote machine monitoring, it is reachable, right? Which one is reachable? It is remote machine, remote machine. So if your remote machine is reachable, then you can send start and stop commands to your machine or to your managed server, which is on remote host. Now, okay, let us start this in the background. Okay, it is started. Let me keep this open, the runtime log. Now, here's few things added. Was unable to establish connection with the vertical cluster member. Yes, because it is down. And what else? Non-dynamic changes. It may require redeploying or rebooting. Let us see if it requires, if any restarts are required. Restart checklist. Oh no, nothing is required. So let us start the local node manager. Ampersand fail-f no hub dot out. And this is also started. Machines, local machine, monitoring, reachable, and remote machine, monitoring, reachable. So both the machines are reachable. Now we have
So
our
same command, so same node manager dot sh command we have executed in different servers, different machines, or same machine?
no different machines. We have given different listen API, listen addresses, right?
Can you open the
Remote
cookie
machine,
once?
remote machine. What is the listen address? 129. So here, what is
Yeah, here, okay. Here we executed this command.
yes, and here it is local. Local means 131, right? So let us start both the servers. Go to control, select PMS1, RMS1. Both are on different VMs. On WebSphere L3, this machine, we have PMS1, and WLS L3, we have RMS1. Start S. Now the local machine received PMS1 start request, and the remote machine received RMS1 start request. So it has created the directories, respective directories. Server is up and running now. Here, you see here the JMX activity. MS1 server is reachable after a single attempt. So it is connected with our admin server. Which one? RMS1. What about PMS1? Yes, PMS1 is running now. Both the servers started successfully. And running, local machine, remote machine. All right. So both are listening on same port numbers on different machines.
So for
Okay.
RMS1, there is no separate admin console, right?
No, it can be managed centrally. So that is the whole idea. Even if you have tens of machines, you can expand your domain using pack and unpack. Your main domain where admin server will be running, and you can add multiple VMs with WebLogic already installed, and you can unpack in multiple. You can unpack the domain in multiple machines, and all the managed servers will be connected to the admin server. So you will manage everything from admin console, all the remote machines, and
So
managed
if I want
servers.
to access the newly created remote and managed servers with different admin console, is that possible?
If you want different admin console, you need to create again one more domain, right?
Mm.
You want different admin console, you have to create different another domain, because one domain contains only one admin server.
Correct.
So it is done. The creation and configuration, pack, unpack, everything is done. Services started successfully. Let us go to the deployments. And before deployment, what we can do is go to the clusters, horizontal cluster, take the lock and add the, here, cluster address
Ports are available.
8500 and is 129 colon 8500. This is for failover detection, right? So number of servers in the cluster, 2, save it, activate the changes. And I think it is a okay. Please see the log files. IO exception while reading input. Yes, no route to host exception. So what does it mean? It means, so when you see this, no, sorry,
Some network level configuration you need to do, right, to access this port.
yes. How do you do that? How do you check that? Telnet 192, 168, 200, 129, and 8500. So there is no route. It is not, the port is not open. And the same thing we can try from here. It is 131. So this is connected. It is open because we have already, okay, this is open anyhow. And what we can do is, eight five double zero. Yes. Let's do admin. Now, again, let us open the node manager also. 256. It is already open. and we'll execute the same here. We'll open 8500, already opened, and 7001. I think it is already open. Yeah. Make sure you exit from the root user, or else your configuration files will be, the permission will be changed. And you cannot start the services with non-root user, which is Oracle user again. You need to change all the permissions back to normal. So this is a common issue in clients environments we face. Sometimes they start all the services with the root users. So now we have opened the port. This is a solution
Think not
resolution,
this one.
and undo all the changes. Go back, cluster, take the logs, $8500. Yes, number of servers, 2, save, activate the changes. Now this time, however, 2 items must be restarted to take the effect. So what are the 2 items? MS1 and RMS1. Select both and restart. So both the services started successfully. And what is the next point? The next setup we need to do to route the requests? We need to, let us copy this. Yeah. And deployments, sample, targets, take the log, and I'll remove here and I'll change it to horizontal cluster. Activate. All right. Yeah. On
So this will
131.
transfer the request to this server only, no? This time.
Yes. Yes. We have changed the target, right? It will, this one will not be. You can keep both if you want, or
You can
else
keep both, but the request will be transferred to this horizontal cluster only. It will go. It will not go to
no,
that
no, no,
vertical cluster, right?
no. You can add this. If you keep both, it becomes mixed architecture. Mixed architecture. It all the requests will be routed to both the clusters.
Mhm.
Yeah, based on the load balancing algorithm. So here, app, OHS, and user projects, domains, OHS domain, config, FM config, components, OHS instances, OHS1, and here mod WL OHS. Obviously, it shows like this. I don't know. Okay, now I'll simply change this with the new cluster details.
We can also comment it this tag, and we can add another tag, right? Whenever if
Yes,
you
you
want
can.
to,
Yes, you can. Or else you can place,
we can define another tag and we can comment it, right?
yes, you can define. Or else you can create multiple files like touch what sample.conf and sample cluster.conf, right? Both the files are created and you can add respective configuration for this vertical and for this horizontal, like how we did here. So you can add these tags in both the files, and these will be loaded into your OHS. That can also be done. So let us go back, app OHS, these are projects domains based OHS domain, bin, and start node manager. All right, it is started. Now start component OHS1. WebLogic 123. Okay, so OHS1 started. Let us see 7777. Which is up and running. Now sample, yes. Okay. So yesterday we have done something like, yeah. So now 8500 on 131 and 121 8500. So primary is this one. So what does it mean, primary? So this is a leader, 131. And this has the responsibility to update the cluster list to the OHS. And what is this? WL plugins. It is used. WebLogic plugin version. And so these all details, so whatever the you can so if these details here, these all parameters belong to whom? Belong to OHS. And if you don't define these parameters, it will take all the default, right? So you can give like, yeah, this is already on. That is why we are able to see this. And we have discussed few things here. Proxy pass through, SSL proxy pass through. And there are many things. Yeah. Runtime statistics, timeout values, and all these things. But it is not a recommended configuration in production environments, right? So let us check the scenario. I am going to shut down PMS1 or shutdown. So PMS1 is down. So this request is going to RMS1, right? And let me start PMS1. So it is running now. Now what I'll do is I will turn off the admin server machine where local machine, admin server, and PMS1 exists. I will power this off. Okay, if you power off, I power off, the OHS will also be down. I cannot route the request. So let me power off this one, RMS1. So servers, the machine should be inactive and RMS1 should be failed, not restartable. Powered off. Stuck somewhere.
Can you just click on that IP address and press enter?
Both are same reload or this ones. Node 5 free Java. Now I think it is CPU not that utilized, but WebLogic thread somewhere resources or hang. We have already shut down, right, the machine. So now if I hit this URL, it need to go to PMS1. It is working fine. So the scenario is tested, right? So RMS1, this machine itself is powered off. So the node
So
manager,
previously also it goes to previously also it goes to PMS1 only, no?
no, previously, that is why what I did, first I shut down PMS1 server
Mhm.
and tested it, the request routed to RMS1. Now what I did, the second scenario, I powered off this machine, not just shutting
RMS1.
down the, yes, not just shutting down the machine, the managed server. I have powered off this machine. So both scenarios tested. One, PMS1 managed server shut down. The request went to RMS1. Now
But
RMS1,
the type is for PMS1 only, AP, no? 131.
what is this port number?
7777 is that OHS server this one.
Yes, that is the whole point, right? How the load balancing happens from the OHS. You need to access the applications from the OHS. So OHS knows which server is down and to which server it has to route the request. How does it know? We have enabled the WebLogic plugin enabled option, and we have configured cluster address. So from that cluster address, if one server stops sending the heartbeat messages, recall everything. You need to go through the recordings or documents. So whatever we discussed in the theoretical part, we have implemented right now, right?
Yeah.
So both the scenarios tested, even if your OHS is on some other machine, let us say your OHS is on this machine and you have PMS1 here, RMS1 here, then admin server also here. If you shut it down, your OHS on this machine will directly send requests to this one, even if admin server is down. Why? Because the managed servers and the cluster members run in MSI mode. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So we are done with the clustering part, and in the next session, we'll start with data source. And we'll have a live
Okay.
connection. I think I have somehow I have installed and created the databases and the users, and we'll have a live connection from this machine to this machine database. Oracle 19C. All right, so we'll catch up in the next session. So first we'll have a theoretical understanding how the data source and the connection pool works. And based on that, we will create the data source and map it to the application.